Yes, Arctic Monkeys, whatever people say I am, that is in fact what I am not. In fact, what I am, instead, that is what I'm not, does still hold up. The Arctic Monkeys' first album definitely holds up. And not only are you getting what you clicked on, Mr. Internet Viewer, you're getting an insane amount more in this YouTube video slash podcast on the Spotify and the Apples and wherever podcasts may indeed be found. So whether you're a longtime rocker who wants to know what Gen Z thinks about rock, or a new Gen Z rocker looking for what bands and songs to listen to, you, in fact, are in the right place. Thank you, helpful viewer. Now, here today, we're going to break down what's up with Arctic Monkeys' first album. But first, make sure to freeze blast monkey send this video to one or multiple, but to at least one friend or that one group chat who needs to start listening to good rock and roll music. You have 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Did you do it? You did it? Congratulations! You just glued yourself into my heart right next to the first Arctic Monkeys album. Anyways, let's begin. My name is Connor Farrell. This is The Rock Show with Connor Farrell. When did I hear this album the first time? I probably heard the whole album all the way through in like 9th grade, the summer before 9th grade, when I really started playing guitar. But I heard this first as a Gen Zer. Woo! Burp! These are all courtesy, by the way, of Ilani. Anyways, they say no one's going to watch your first 10 videos, so no one's watching this, okay? Boom. Boom. You like my ascot? Boom. This is totally relevant to rock music, by the way. Anyways, now that the intro's out of the way, it's going to be 4,000 hours until you get anything coherent from me. They always try to get something coherent from me. They never. So you're probably wondering right now, what are the AirPods for? Is he like listening to like what's happening here? Can he hear me? Like if I crawl through your camera right now, could I find you and see all the, dirty little things you're doing, like not cleaning your plates, just stacking them. You're just like, let me rinse it. You don't even turn the sink on full blast. You don't go like, boom, because then it's going to spray everywhere. Or if you have one of those sinks that does the, one of those faucets where it does like the spray and it goes and hits like 1,000 different spots and it goes everywhere. So you're like, let me just barely turn it on. And then just a little drizzle comes out. And it just like barely, and you had like mashed potatoes. You were eating mashed potatoes and steak, which is good, and some carrots and like some broccoli, some cauliflower. You had some cauliflower. Good for you. But you just barely turned on the water and you just kind of like wet it. You didn't like, it wasn't enough water pressure to like really like get the whole plate cleared off. No, you just did. You don't want the spray. Who wants the spray? But it just goes. You just got it moist. So now you're going to slide it over to the pile of plates you have in your tiny little sink. And so it's going from here to here. It's going from here. You need to see this to here. And you got your tiny little sink. And you've just made it moist on top. And of course, you did that with the plate before, so now they're stuck together. They're sticking together. Now, this would be fine. It wouldn't be, it's never fine. But it wouldn't be bad if you were taking the cutlery off of the plates, but you're not taking the cutlery. So you're putting forks and knives stacked on the plates. You're not putting them on the other side or putting them just down next to the stack of plates. You're such a heathen that you're leaving your cutlery on the plate in the mush that you've just moistened, and you're putting another plate on top of that, and so they're all sliding. You want to know how to break plates? That's how you do it. So, of course, what happens? Oh, slam! Your plates get broken. And that is all the dirty little things I am seeing through your webcam and listening to right now. Actually, it's not. What I am doing is listening to, let's see, what incriminating things do I have on my phone that I want to show to the viewer? Here we go. I'm listening to the Adam Sandler album. Exactly when you clicked on this video, podcast with a video. This is the exact thing you clicked on it for. Now, you guys probably also, guys, gals, whatever, you probably also want to know what's the lighting setup like in Casa de Connor. Anyways, we got lamp back there. Wait. There's a big light up here, and it's like kind of dim, but blue. We got a blue light right there. I'm going to see if I can swap it to green because green. Peep the heat, peep the ice, the drip. Also, we got an mascot because our icon in life is Fred from Scooby-Doo. It is the only reason that I needed to bench 225. I'm 21 and I started working out probably when I was like 17. And I legitimately, for the first 2 years, said I need to bench press, whether that's the best way to grow my chest muscles or the best, safest workout or the most effective or whatever it is, right? I said I need to be bench pressing, right? So that I could hit 225 because Fred in Scooby-Doo said he benched 220. That was a frequent point of conversation for Fred from Scooby-Doo. He said, I hit 220. And I go, wow, I need to hit 220 because Fred hit 220. And guess what? I did. And it was a really rough time. I was at school at UCSD and a little bit of a genius, little young Sheldon over here. I was at UCSD when I was 17 and I got out within like 2 years. Well, 2 2/3. Anyway, ooh, look, the camera came out of focus. Look, I'm hopping up and down. You see, this video is going to have little to no edits, but I'm banking on the fact that my level of energy and excitement and the speed at which I'm bouncing from topic to topic and my idiosyncratic appearance and look, do you see my hair? Why is it sticking up there? Why is it sticking up there? I don't know. I don't care. This frenetic energy, this is going to translate into your TikTok brain, or if you're an old person, this is going to give you an aneurysm. You're going to die. You're going to stroke out. I ate too many cheeseburgers when I was 12. My dad had to get surgery. He ate so much pizza when he was like in medical school and when he was like just like a young dude without chewing, and he literally did. He fucking stretched his throat goat. He stretched his throat out by not chewing his pizza that he ate when he was living with an Italian family in New York, and he stretched out his throat so wide that when he would go to sleep at night, 40 years later, 20 years later, 30 years, when he was in his 40s, when I was a wee little guy. Wee little guy. My father had stretched his throat out to the point, you're familiar with this, you're at least your mother is. It got so stretched out that he would lay down, and this is him laying down. Here's his head, right? Ha ha ha. Or here's his head. Shit. Here you go. Here's his head. And then here is his throat, right? This is his throat. Here's his head. Here's his feet off camera. And what would happen is the stomach acid would come up and it would visit him in the middle of the night. And the stomach acid would come up and I'd go, ugh. And he'd wake up in the middle of the night. Don't act like it's not happening. As if it's impolite. We're not even talking about whatever people say I am. That's what I'm not. This album, no, I heard it. Let's see. I bet you look good on the dance floor. Fake Tales of San Francisco. I heard like all those and like, But I'll still take you home. Still take you home. I heard all of those banger tracks from the Sheffield Boys, probably about when they came out. I was born in 2002, October 9th, 2002. Impersonate me now. You have my birthday. Anyways, there's nothing to take. My parents are successful. I am a fledgling podcast, YouTube, influencer, rock star with nothing but experience to my name and a few $100 guitars. So when I say few hundred, I mean multiple $100 guitars, not multiple hundreds worth of guitar. I have several $100 guitars. I do not have several $100 guitars. I have several $100 guitars. So if you'd like to impersonate me, go and do it. It's very fun. You won't get arrested. This is, in fact, financial. I got a cramp in my toe. This is legal advice. Guys, do I look like a top G? Look here. I'm wearing a suit. I'm wearing an outfit. I'm listening to Arctic Monkeys. Actually, I'm listening to Arctic Monkeys, which is from England. So therefore, I am, in fact, a top G. I am the 190 IQ Jew, and I'm listening to British music, so that does make me, in fact, a top genius. No, when did I first hear this record? So I first probably heard the whole record in like 9th grade when I was in San Diego, and I was, proper learning guitar. I tried learning guitar. I took like 1 or 2 lessons in like 7th or 6th grade when I was still living in Arizona. And I got a baby, like a mini Squire, right? Like a red one. It was red and white, like classic, whatever you think, like, this is a guitar. This is a guitar. I got one of those, right? And then, everybody's trying to crack the jokes tonight to make you smile. Those that claim that they're not showing off are drowning in denial. Get it? They're drowning in denial. Denial is a river in Egypt. And the metaphor is they're drowning in denial, and they're saying they're not trying to chat up this absolute dime, this absolute fit bird, this fit bird. No, okay, so real talk. When did I first hear it? So I heard the record when I was like probably, yeah. Like I heard all the songs like when they came out, like from the time I was like 4 to probably like 10 or 12. I had heard all these songs here and there. I took that one guitar lesson probably in like I don't know, it's probably like 11. So 2013, I took a guitar lesson in Scottsdale, Arizona. Yay! And what happened is I had my little baby red Squire, and I was like, teach me death metal. No, I said, teach me Weezer. This is the photograph. This is the photograph. Oh no, if you want it. That's a really good song, by the way, off the Green album. It's like the first or the last song. It's something in it. It's on the album. Maybe it's not. It's the Green album, but really it looks more like a yellow green. I forget what you call that, but like Shrek's earwax color. By the way, a lot of my life is formed by Scooby-Doo, Shrek, and Arctic Monkeys. That's most of my personality, and then throw in some Andrew Dice Clay. For all of you Zoomers out there, Andrew Dice Clay is a brilliant comedian back from the 80s and early 90s, and he's still kicking now, but Andrew Dice Clay is one of the greatest people of all time. You need to go see that, okay? Go type in The Adventures of Ford Fairlane and go pay for it. Go pirate it. No, just kidding. You can do any of the above. It's a free country as long as you're living in America, but technically it's a free country wherever you can steal things. Wherever you can steal things, it's a free country. The ducks at the park aren't free, but if you steal them, then they were free to you. That's the beautiful thing about public property. If you ever take a class, I took marching band in 10th grade to get out of doing my second year of physical education. And I played the saxophone. See, here's the thing. COVID happens. I still have the saxophone from the school. We have 2 different, teachers at the time who were like swapping in. I think I had 3 music teachers for the, 3.5 years I was in high school, right? We had 3 different guys, right? And And so by the time we get to the last guy, they got no clue who has what instruments. And I'm sitting there like, I got this. And then also, when COVID went down, that whole year we were using the computer science room and we were going to the back to play VR games. I would like skip every class, still get straight A's. But I would do my work. I would dip out of class. I'd be like, oh, they need me in the film room. And then I would go to the comp sci room, which of course I had like 100% on the friggin' AP test. 190 IQ, Jew. Duh, you know the story. But me and the boys, we would head back there, and that's where my band, Black Licorice, we had a big poster we printed out, and I hung it up in there, and I still have photos of that. But we would play on the VR headset. So I had, when COVID hit the fan, right, and was like, oh, I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to Arizona to like hang out where my family is during the lockdowns, and you know, it should be easier to get around. Like if something really happens, like if it turns into an actual like apocalypse, it's better to not be like on the coast in San Diego. It's better to be in Arizona where I could like have desert and it'd be maybe less purge like. Anyways, we went there, but before I left, I took the VR headset. The only reason to say this is it's the beauty of public property. See, the way public property works is everyone owns it and no one owns it. So technically, you own it and I own it. But neither of us own it. Do you like that? Do you see what I'm saying? So with public property, I had all this public property. I had a VR headset. I had a saxophone. I think I had a cello. I think I had a cello. I had a lot of. Oh, I had a video camera, and I had a gaming laptop. I had a bunch of SD cards. I had so much property, but I didn't have it. I didn't have it. What do you mean I didn't have it? No, but then like once COVID ended, you put all the stuff back. But it's just a funny story of how I had instrument. Now, this is one of the greatest albums of all time. This is where I think a band, where I go, what's my favorite album by a band? I go based off of as a Gen Zer. No, but just so that you get it, like this was like me, like I started taking guitar lessons again in ninth grade at School of Rock in Point Loma, San Diego. Go there, go say hi to all the wonderful people at the School of Rock in Point Loma, San Diego. And yeah, it was a great opportunity because I got to like play in a band. I basically got to go from not playing an instrument, not, to just like completely knowing what it's like to be in a band. And I just got so many repetitions of doing stuff that I'm like, what's happening? Am I getting a phone call? Oh, wait a minute. Guys, I'm going to speak in a deeper register. I'm going to speak more slowly. I have to. Well, you're coming up on our end, aren't you? So I'll get one with you. Oh, won't he let us have six in? Especially not with the food. He could have just told us no, though. He did not have to be rude. You see her in the green dress? She talked to me at the bar. Well, how come it's already £2.50? We've only gone about a yard. Did you not see that she was gorgeous? She was beyond the belief. But this lad at her side was drinking his Smirnoff Ice, came and paid for her tropical reef. And I'm sitting and I'm going backwards, and I didn't want to leave. I said, it's High Green Mate via Hillsborough, please. But this is why I like these lyrics, and this is why they're timeless, and these are why they're great. And this is why Arctic Monkeys' first and second albums are their best, because this is when I could still feel the pain, and that's what I feel a lot. I'm a very like sensitive person. As stoic as I may seem, I feel a lot. And that's something I think you see a lot. Like I look at someone like John Cena, and I really see that, you go from feeling everything so intensely, but that means and especially if you have a higher like IQ and your brain just runs fast, you live through thousands and thousands of iterations of moments and events and things, and you grow so much faster. But since you're so sensitive, you feel everything so deep, you're really able to go through lots and lots of character growth. You're able to go through all of it, right? Like even now, I'm going to go from not being comfortable talking on camera to being super comfortable talking on camera. It's probably only going to take me like one video. We're 20 minutes in. This is probably going to be a two-parter because I've barely talked about the album yet. But no, I did. No, because here's the context you really want. I did. I'm not even apologizing. The whole thing is I'm giving you context, whether you're Gen Z like me or you're someone older, on what's someone my age, like what's my relationship? When did I hear this record for the first time? How much of a relationship do I have? And when did I really double back and get into it? So yeah, I first heard this album like all the way through, probably in like ninth grade. And it's the greatest record of all time. One of them. Relative to my age when I got into it, love at first sight. This was love at first sight. I loved all the songs to begin with. And then when I went through, I was like, holy cow, there's more songs that are even amazing. My favorite song. So View from the Afternoon is great. When the Sun Goes Down always hits. But probably Vampires. Let me just pull up the lyrics real quick, because Vampires always hits me. Because I'll tell you why. And this is the thing, I don't need to know what they were singing about, but I know how I take it, where it's, people trying to tell you what to do, and it's like, I'm not playing the same game as you. My life, what I value, what I want to do, my career path, like what I want to do with my life, and the conditions I'm in are different from yours, right? I think every generation has this. I think older people tend to forget that, no, when you were a kid too, that was the first time anyone had those conditions. Society's gotten to the point where things change so quickly. Like if you were born at the first, let's say you're born in the year 1800, right? And then you go to the year 1840. If you're living on a farm, your day to day, from your generation, you're 22, you have a kid, right? 1822. Then 1844, 1866. Oh, we're getting call bombs. Let me see. We're gonna do a call later. But essentially, your whole life, you grew up pretty similar to how your parents grew up compared to how their parents grew up. And not much changed. But once you get to the year 1900, it really gets into the cycle of every generation went through a completely different thing. And so likewise, that's where you get where it's perhaps Vampires is a bit strong, and they're talking about other people who are more successful or 10 years older, 20 years older, telling them, no, you got to do this, you got to do that. And, people blowing smoke up your bum and telling you, oh, you're so good, but then they cut you down behind your back. And then they criticize everything you do. And they're like, why would you pay that much for that? Oh my God, that was so crazy. And people telling you, but they don't understand. They have no context, but they're just giving you from their context of when they grew up, what would have been the right move. See, it's like playing chess, and everyone had to learn how to play chess. But they all had a different board depending on when they were born. And so, if my chessboard only has black pieces, then of course when I see someone doing stuff with the white pieces, I'm going to be like, yeah, it's stupid. But it's their board only has white pieces, right? I know this is a weird metaphor, but the entire context of what you had going around you that determined what was a good strategy and a bad strategy and smart and worthwhile or not worthwhile and stupid and dumb, all of that changed generation to generation starting 120 years ago. So likewise, you get here and you end up going into the next episode of the podcast in 25 seconds from now. So let's do a little thing. I'm going to do this. Right now, go watch part 2 of this video. Okay? Go click it. I'm going to count to 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Did you click it? Did you do it? Did you click onto it? Okay, well, I'll see you there. Rock on! Okay, part 2. We're on to part 2 of the interview. Now we're really going to get into it. You thought we got into it before. Now we're really going to get into it. I kind of have to use the restroom now, but I'm going to insist on holding it for 25 whole minutes instead of pausing the recording right here. I could just pause, couldn't I? Let's see. Can I pause?